Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Mass Retirees Weekly Update. Today's Friday, August 11th. I'm Sean Duhamel. Thank you so much for joining with us and tuning in again this week. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different this week. I'm going to walk you through the new version of the massretirees.com website. We just relaunched the site just a few days ago, and this is more or less a half step forward in creating a brand new site. Now, we are in the process of working with our graphics design team at Chameleon Design Group to create a brand new website that will have a new user interface and a completely new design. The launch of that site is still several months away. Our target is to have it up and running sometime in early winter. But in the meantime, we felt the need for a new site for a couple of reasons. One, to make it easier for us to be able to update, to get you the most up-to-date information in a timely manner, but also to make it more secure and make it a little bit easier for you to be able to utilize the site and get the information out of it that you're going there in the first place. But before I do any of that, let me first provide a couple of quick updates on some important late-breaking news. First of all, just a couple of days ago on Wednesday, Governor Maura Healey signed into law the FY24 state budget. That state budget, of course, includes the 3% COLA for state and teacher retirees. It's on a $13,000 base. That COLA payment will be made in the August pension checks that come out this month, be retroactive to July 1st of this year. So this is great news. In addition to the COLA, the budget also contains $4.1 billion in state taxpayer money to fund the Commonwealth share of the state and teacher pension systems, as well as nearly another $3 billion to fund the operation of the Group Insurance Commission. So this is all very good news. It was all anticipated. Governor Healey, the House, and the Senate all passed these provisions within their own individual budgets. So it really wasn't a source of any kind of negotiation or controversy when it came to the conference committee, which is very good news for retirees. It wasn't that long ago that occasionally we would have hiccups during the budget process where one branch or the other or the governor may not have been in favor of a COLA, and that left us having to fight about something that really should just be a routine occurrence year after year, and that's really what we're heading toward. Now, at the local level, all 102 local retirement systems approved the 3% COLA for FY24. That payment began in the July check, which has already been made last month. All 102 systems approved the 3% COLA, so we're very thankful for that. We're also thankful for the fact that it appears that the inflationary pressures that we've all been under for the past couple of years continue to subside. I know they ticked up a tiny bit in July. The numbers that came out just yesterday showing year over year through July of inflation being at about 3.2%. So it's still high compared to what we have experienced over the past couple of decades, but we're certainly heading back into that more comfortable territory, and hopefully that will continue. Now, we have 2 more months to go. That'd be August and September, that will make for the full federal fiscal year that the CPI is based on. So we'll be watching very closely of what we see in both August and again in September for the monthly CPI, and then in early October, we'll know the CPI that will be applied for the coming 2024 year in terms of Social Security COLA, as well as what the COLA benefit will look like a year from now when it comes to public pensions. And then in either late October, early November, we should have the Medicare Part B premium numbers for the coming year, which always lags a little bit behind whatever the COLA announcement is for that year. But pay close attention to these weekly updates as well as our newsletter. We'll have that information to you as soon as it is known. Now, in terms of the newsletter, we were pleasantly surprised this week that this is actual newsletter. Last week, I held up the copy of it, but this is the actual newsletter. It was delivered to our office a couple of days ago. Our printing partners at Standard Modern did a fantastic job turning around the newsletter for this edition. Took them less than a week to publish and print this. It was put into the mail, from what I understand, either late on Wednesday or early yesterday morning. So many of you will begin to receive the newsletter perhaps as early as today, if not over the next several days and certainly into the coming week. Pay close attention to the newsletter. Once again, it is full of very important news for all of you. In last week's video, both Bill Reary and Nancy McGovern joined me, and we walked through all of the specific content to give you a little bit of a sneak preview, as well as a behind the scenes look, if you will, at what goes into producing this month after month. Our newsletter is our primary source of communicating with all of our members. It is the one thing that all of you get from us, whether you are comfortable on the computer or have an email address or join any of our in-person area meetings or the teletown hall. All members receive the newsletter. In addition, all members of the legislature receive our newsletter. Most of the mayors, other public officials across the state, union leaders, the media, our newsletter has a pretty wide distribution. And again, it's our primary way of getting information to you, but it only comes out 6 times a year. So we need to try to make up for what happens in those months and weeks and days in between. Because news is happening all the time. And in today's day and age where things are just so rapid pace, we can't wait for 2 months to get you information. It will be, in many cases, too late. So that's why these weekly videos and the weekly email message that comes from me every Friday morning is so very important. In addition to these means of communication and our in-person meetings and our virtual teletown halls, we also have a very robust website. Now, our website first launched back in January of 1998, a really long time ago, and we have been through several iterations of the site. And again, the most recent one is what we just launched a few days ago. And we now have nearly 25 years worth of information, content archived on our website. And in many cases, this is information that you really can't find anywhere else. You're not going to find any kind of in-depth reporting in the Boston Globe or the Boston Herald or other regular news sites when it comes to the COLA and our pension system and the GIC and some of the innovations at Blue Cross and Blue Shield and of what it's doing to help local retirees. At times, you'll see some reporting in the mainstream media on those issues, but by and large, they're not going to report on issues like that because it affects such a small number of people in the grand scheme of things. And that's where one of the areas where mass retirees is just so important. We are the only organization in Massachusetts that is exclusively focused on the issues that are of direct importance to you as a public retiree. That's been our primary role since we were created back in 1968, and that's something that we pride ourselves in continuing to do this very day. Now, we publish all of this information for your consumption, for active employees to help them better prepare for their eventual retirement, but also for our public policymakers, whether it be elected officials, staff, other interest groups, the unions and so forth. Multiple different entities rely on our association for our expertise, our knowledge, and the information that we have been able to accumulate and put together for many, many years. And most of that information now that's been produced since 1998 is contained on our website, massretirees.com. Now, bear with me. I'm going to try to perform a little bit without a net. I'm going to share our website. This is the new website. Hopefully all of you can see it. And let me take a walk through it. Hopefully, if you're watching this video or you're reading our email today, watching the video through the email, you've been to our website before. On average, our website receives somewhere between 6,000 to 7,000 unique visits every month. Those are individual people. Many of them are retirees coming to the site for a source of information. You can also both renew your Mass Retirees membership or join our association online. You can also donate to our political action committee, which, by the way, in early September, we will be launching our second PAC drive for 2023. Any members who have not yet contributed to the PAC We'll be receiving a letter shortly after Labor Day from me, inviting you, if you choose to, if you voluntarily would like to contribute to the PAC. We'd like to give you the opportunity and make it very easy for you to do so, because it plays a primary role in our day-to-day work. But as you can see from the website, we have everything from the cover of our new newsletter, and here you go. Those of you who have not yet received it, this is the cover of it, and leading off with the pension funds rebounding for the first half of 2023, an update on what's happening with the cost of living adjustment, and of course, news on Congressman Neal refiling the WEP reform proposal, and our hope that it can also be modified to include the government pension offset. But going back to the home page, and this is what you'll see when you log in. We always try to include whatever the most up-to-date breaking news is, and that happens to be this week, Governor Healy and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll signing the $56 billion budget. Last week, I should say, our update on the newsletter, followed by the news of the pension fund rebounding. So you'll always find right here in the middle, right under the banner, the breaking news. If you scroll down, you will see the latest news from the latest edition of The Voice, which of course is our bi-monthly newsletter. All of your headline information will be contained here. You can also find various information through the drop-down menu. So on About Us, a little bit about Mass Retirees. Who are we? What do we stand for? This also contains the video from our 50th anniversary just 5 years ago, and time flies. But we put together a 50th anniversary video chronicling the history of Mass Retirees, why we were founded. It has a wonderful interview with Ralph White, who was our founding officer and our longtime president and continues on our executive board. Speaking of which, you can find information on all of our key officers, our executive board members, and our staff here on the officers page. So if you're wondering about some of our backgrounds or who we are, you can find that information right here. And again, you can also either join us online, renew your membership online, donate, become a subscriber. Our subscriber program is geared toward active employees who are eligible to retire and want to use Mass Retirees as an informational resource to help you in your retirement planning. Now, our news section contains all of the news that's been published on the website. And as you can see, we still have a little bit of work to do to fill in some of the blanks here and to add some graphics, but it continues to be a work in progress. We will be adding new content to this virtually day in and day out going forward. On our issues page, we have all of our various issues outlined on the website. So everything from the COLA to your health insurance benefits, broken down between the state GIC or local insurance, information on legislation or politics or your benefits. Everything related to your retirement can be found here on the website. You can also find archived editions of The Voice, which I think this is a pretty neat section. Again, we publish 6 times a year. All of that content can be found here on the website. And I should point out that when we relaunch the brand new designed website later this year, one of the key features will be that much of this content will be available to Mass Retirees members only, which we believe is only fair. As much as we want to be a resource for everybody, we are a resource first and foremost for our members. Our association exists for the benefit of our members. We are funded through your dues, and the only way that we're allowed to continue to function and keep the lights on here and continue to do the good work that we do, it depends on having a robust membership. And it's not fair to those of you who are dues paying Mass Retirees members if we have some retirees choosing to not be a member, not pay an annual membership fee to be part of our organization and are accessing all this information online for free. Again, that's not fair to everybody else. So when we relaunch the site, a lot of the information that you're seeing here will be available to Mass Retirees members only, as well as subscribers. So just keep that in mind going forward. It's something that we frequently will be asked questions about. So moving forward, here in the right margin, in addition to whatever the most recent edition of The Voice, we also have a little introductory from Frank, but something that people might be interested in is this little section on Weapon GPO Explained. We receive more questions here at Master Retirees day in, day out about the Social Security WEP and GPO laws than pretty much any other issue put together. It's something that affects roughly 75 to 80% of our members at this point. For those of you who are negatively impacted by weapon GPO, you know just how important these issues are, but you also know how confusing and complicated it could be. So this is something that we're going to continue to offer additional information, but it provides at least some basic information on, what is the WEP, what is the GPO, why do these laws exist, how do they work, who's involved, to try to help you better understand what it's all about. At the same time, to dispel some of the misinformation, some of the rumors that are out there. For instance, we'll quite frequently hear the comment or get the question, why doesn't Massachusetts just opt out of weapon GPO? Or why did Massachusetts approve these laws in the first place? A lot of people do not understand that these are federal laws that Massachusetts had absolutely no control over and no say in. It's completely up to the federal government and the US Congress and ultimately the president. So we try to explain a little bit of that information here. Also contained within the margin on the website is a link to our partners at IBIS Health. And those of you by now, you should be aware of what IBIS is. It is our telehealth partner. They provide through Medicare for Medicare enrollees a fantastic technology platform to help those Medicare enrollees who are fighting chronic illnesses to better manage your health, and with the goal of keeping you healthier, improving your quality of life, keeping you out of the hospital, and ultimately reducing healthcare costs over time. So you can find a link to IBIS Health here, as well as another way to get to any of the information that's on our website. So this is something that, again, we're going to continue to improve upon going forward. We hope it's a resource that you're going to utilize from time to time. Again, we try to update the website at least once a week, if not more often. It really depends on what is happening at that particular time. Is there news? But now that we have a new website that's a little bit easier for us to maintain, you can count on us in updating that site a little bit more on a regular basis to keep you informed. Now, as always, if you see something, whether it's in these weekly emails or in the newsletter, or on the website that you have some questions or concerns, you're looking for a little bit more information on, reach out to us. You have our contact information, whether it's here in the office on Beacon Hill at 11 Beacon Street, where I am right now. You also have my cell phone number on your membership card. All of our senior officers and staff, you have their personal contact information on your membership card. So if you can't get through to us, or something comes up after hours, give us a call on our personal contact information. Above and beyond everything else, we are a membership service organization. We're here to help you. We're here to give you peace of mind, to help you with any retirement questions or problems that you might be having. So don't hesitate to reach out if you need us. So next week, we're going to have an update on our upcoming Mass Retirees annual meetings, as well as the Teletown Hall event. We're going to kick off our fall schedule of annual meetings on Friday, September 22nd. That will be our annual meeting. On page 3 of your newsletter is a complete calendar of upcoming events. But next week, we'll be providing a digital version of that before we take a little bit of a hiatus for the last couple of weeks of August. I'm going to take a little bit of time off to spend with my family. I've got some projects around the house I need to try to focus on. And at the end of this month, when things are a little bit quieter, it's never totally quiet anymore, but a little bit quieter will be good time to take a little bit of time off. So, but before then, we'll have another update next week, and then we'll be right back at things in September, right after Labor Day. But I hope you're enjoying your summer. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will be back to you again next week. Bye-bye, everybody.